Do you love fall home decor or aesthetic videos as much as I do? They really pull you in with images of English countryside, close-ups of making coffee or baking, and decorating the house from top to bottom with fall stuff. Pillows, blankets, leaf garland, autumn mugs, sweaters, and more. It's so tempting to want to spend a day whipping out the credit card and going crazy at stores like Target, Michaels, TJ Maxx, HomeGoods, and yes, even Trader Joe's, a grocery store if you don't know, that I'm pretty sure bets on YouTubers and influencers to buy pumpkin-shaped pasta and cookie dough milk. I made that up, but wouldn't be surprised if that exists, to make their annual revenue go through the roof. I could easily get so on board. I love fall and the quote-unquote burr months. But realistically, I don't have the budget to buy a bunch of things, and I'm trying to be a more conscious spender and consumer. So what are the ways you can really get into the cozy season without spending a lot of money or buying cheaply made seasonal decor that you have to find a way to store or throw away and have it end up in landfills? Let's talk about that. The first thing is, if you are going to spend some money, spend them on autumn experiences. And honestly, most don't cost anything at all. Find local festivals, apple picking, pumpkin patches, fall carnivals or parades, and so on. Even in LA, where not much changes from season to season, it has tons of local and free festivals. One of my favorites that I plan on going back to this year is a place about an hour away from LA called Oak Glen. It's a loop road up in the mountains that takes you through apple orchards, petting zoos, hay rides, mom and pop diners with the best apple pie you've ever eaten, and so on. A bonus is the weather is always cooler up in the mountains. Another fun idea, and it's a tradition I started with my good friend Dave, is to go on neighborhood walks around Halloween with perhaps an adult beverage in hand like mulled cider, and have an unofficial judging of decorations in different categories. This started when I told him that I get a little OCD when multi-million-dollar houses have maybe one string light on the front porch and nowhere else, or when one row of lights is solid and another row of lights is blinking. Is anyone else like this, or is it just me? Some solo date ideas outside the home is spending an afternoon with a book at a cute local library, cafe, or coffee shop. Or I like to spend a couple hours at Barnes & Noble just sampling different books I'm interested in and adding to my Kindle, or picking up at the library at a later time. For the spooky inclined, look for witchy or magic type shops in your area, but if you're easily spellbound into buying kitschy things, you might want to avoid that. One of my favorite things that I used to do when I lived in areas where the leaves change colors is go on a fall drive or even find a hike through some fall leaves. There is something magical about hearing the leaves crunch beneath your feet. I also love cider mills with apple cider and cake donuts. Okay, so maybe you're more of a homebody. Raise his hand. Maybe the reason you love fall is you get to cozy up at home and nest for the season. If so, there are free or cheap things you can do to get cozy vibes. I personally love taking Epsom salt bubble baths. I light a candle and put on some cozy jazz for ambiance. There is something so incredibly relaxing about a bath in the evening. Another activity you might try is decluttering or reorganizing your home. Move furniture around and rearrange your closet to see what clothes you already have so you aren't tempted to buy another fall cozy sweater. Maybe start planning some goals or create a bucket list for the next year, or figure out what you want to do before the year is over. I use Notion to organize my life and I love it, and I have a video talking all about that and linked it below, as well as a free template you can download. Fall is also soup weather, so spending an afternoon batch cooking soups and freezing them is another budget-friendly fall idea. Yes, you have to spend money on groceries, but you have to eat anyway. I also love baking bread, and that costs just pennies per loaf. And it's super easy. I would love to dip my toe into baking more, but I have found that it increases my grocery budget exponentially, so it's something to keep in mind. If you're social but still want to stay at home, host a potluck and have fall-ish activities like pumpkin carving, or watch a classic scary movie like Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street. Or even host a clothing or fall decor swap with friends, or have a seasonal theme book club meetup. Speaking of movies, this has to be one of my favorite fall/winter activities. I gravitate towards classic, lighthearted films like When Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail, and Under the Tuscan Sun, or inspirational movies like Rudy and Secretariat. And yes, I do rewatch Gilmore Girls, but I really keep it on more as background noise while I'm cooking. And speaking of cooking, I also love watching shows like The Great British Baking Show, and one that just started again this week, Halloween Baking Championship, which I watch on the Discovery Channel. And by the way, the Discovery Channel also has loads of comforting feel-good content from cooking shows to home renovations. Another option is movies or shows to fit the season. I just finished A Discovery of Witches, which I really enjoyed, but other options are The Vampire Diaries, the Harry Potter movies, and of course, Hocus Pocus. Another favorite of mine is watching all of the Marvel films in timeline order. If movies aren't your thing, then perhaps it's indulging in books from a fall reading list. Remember, there is always a library if your budget is tight. I think it's perfectly okay if you do want to spend money on holiday decor, but keep in mind your budget and where and how products are produced and where they end up if you don't want to use them anymore. A great option for getting some new-to-you stuff in your home is Buy Nothing Facebook groups. Last year, I got a free Christmas tree, but have scored many other great items as well. If you do spend money, spend it on something you really value and get a lot of pleasure from. For me, it's scented candles. It's possible I might even go a bit overboard, but I love setting the mood with scents that fit the season. By far, my absolute favorite fall candle is Hello There Fall from Wax and Wit Candles. I've bought this candle countless times, even off-season, because I love the scent so much. Some other favorites from there are Farmhouse, Warm and Cozy, and Merry and Bright. I'll be sure to link to those candles in the description. I hope this was helpful and gave you some good ideas of how to get in the seasonal spirit without spending much money. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.